Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
A reminder, the title sponsor of Donnie and Dolly is Able Auctions. Also a reminder, Randy Ambrosi, CFL Commissioner, live in studio in our next segment. We're joined now by Thatcher Demko's agent, Jordan Neumann. Thatcher, of course, ending his spectacular Canucks season with a lower body injury. Yeah. Jordan joins us now. Jordan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
No problem. I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Very well. What can you tell us about your client's health?
Absolutely nothing.
Come on. Do you care to elaborate on that?
I mean, isn't that what you had me on for an answer like that?
Yeah. This has been great, Jordan. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
All right. You guys have a great day. Yeah, obviously I don't want to get too specific with injuries. I don't know what the Canucks are kind of putting out there, but all I can say is I think Thatcher will be just fine. I think the nature of the injury is very, very minor and, really nothing more than a small little bump in the road.
Okay, does that mean off-season surgery or not?
I'm not getting into that.
Okay. And how much will
it's just a typical wear and tear of how it was a very long season. Obviously, he played more hockey than he's ever played, and then nothing more than that.
Listen, Dollywall told me to get you on the air here. No, I'm not so sure. Hey, Jordan, what about this? How about this?
Is he awake over there? I just want to know, Rick awake?
For the first time in a long time, yes. How much will it affect his off-season training? How about that?
All right, there you go. I think that's a great question, and I would say not at all. I think this month, really, he probably needs to do nothing, even if he had been 100% healthy, just to kind of decompress. And, physically, I think the position's just so much more demanding than it's ever been before. I think you really need that month probably anyway. So if he ends up kind of doing nothing for the next 4 weeks, he probably would have done nothing for 4 weeks anyhow. So I think it will have no effect on his off-season training at all.
Jordan, 64 games this year. You've got a lot of goaltender clients around the NHL. 64 games, was that too much this year in your eyes?
Again, hard to ever say too much. That's certainly not for me to say. I think if you go around the league and you talk to a lot of goalie coaches and management people around the league, they would probably tell you the optimal number is probably somewhere in the 50s, whether it's 52 or 58, somewhere in there. But I also think you've got to look at it as the games became absolutely critical to this team based on, the start they had. He was playing incredibly well, and just knowing Thatcher, there's no way he ever said to somebody, hey, I really need a day off. Right? He just would never say that. So, I think it's hard when your coach has a guy that's coming in day after day and he's constantly saying, I'm ready to go, and the games are all critical, you're going to play him. So, yeah, I guess not much more I can say to
that. He loves Ian Clark, and he said that actually recently, that he really wanted him back when his contract was up, Ian Clark. That relationship between them two, Jordan, is it pretty special?
Yeah, I really think it is, and it was something that came up a lot, last summer. And, yeah, I mean, I had never really had a client during a negotiation say to me to bring up about another staff member as we were working through the contract, as we were working through the off season, but Ian's contract, which clearly was none of our business, but it was important to Thatcher. It really was, and he really did insist several times last off season that we ask about the status and really just do anything we could do to ensure that he was going to be in the fold. And I think Thatcher came to a real nice realization. I think a couple of years back where he just sort of said, this guy is going to be incredibly hard on me, and he is going to push me, and it isn't going to be easy. And so I've got to make a decision. Do I want to just kind of be a good hockey player, because he's certainly talented enough he could just be a good hockey player if I was his coach? Or does he want to be the best goalie he possibly could be? And he really made a decision that I want to be the best. And Ian's going to push me and help me become the best. And once he made that decision, I think the two of them have really been kind of attached at the hip since then.
When the president of this hockey club, Jim Rutherford, says that Thatcher Demko won 50% of the games this year, we're winning because we have a great goaltender, that's got to make you feel good.
It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good, and I know Jimmy a long time. Obviously, fantastic for him to say that, but Thatcher would be the first guy to tell you that you don't win a hockey game by yourself. Obviously, he's a tremendous goalie, and he's a huge part of a lot of the victories that he's had, but not without, there's some pretty special players on that team. And I think the team really played very, very well if you just take out that small segment. So I love hearing that. At the same time, probably not really true. I think the team deserves a lot of credit. I think the boys probably could have mailed it in several different times this year, and they never did. And it was really pretty impressive to see them rally and pull this thing, back around to the point that they were playing, meaningful games up until 2 games left in the season. I mean, yeah. So I think you got to give the boys a lot of credit for that.
Did Thatcher enjoy playing under Bruce Boudreau?
Yeah, I think, again, you'd have to ask him that. I won't speak for him, but I think all the boys, I've had a couple guys play for Bruce over the years. I think everybody likes playing for him. I think he's a player's coach, so I think everybody likes playing for him. I think that being said, these guys are professionals. They'll play under players' coaches. They'll play under very demanding coaches, guys that are very wide open, guys that are defensive. These guys evolve. They're so talented. And by the time they've gone to the National Hockey League, they've played for so many different personalities. And we've all seen cases where guys hated the coach and they all rally around the fact they hate the coach and play great. So yes, I do think he liked playing for him. At the same time, he's a pretty easy guy. He'll play for everybody.
Hey, Jordan, you say you've known Jim Rutherford for a while, and same goes with Bruce Boudreau. At least you know players that have played under him. Were you surprised? I don't know how much you know about this, but were you surprised yesterday that despite Bruce's winning record here in Vancouver, Jim didn't exactly endorse Bruce Boudreau?
Yeah, I watched some snippets of it and saw some clips. Obviously, being here in New York, it's not something that I could say I'm as surprised as maybe you guys are being around it every day. Based on the finish of the season, though, I would imagine there was great surprise in Vancouver. But again, that's also the nature of this business. I think there's so much change, and anytime you've got a coach that's hired before the general manager in any situation, nothing that happens at that point should ever be a complete shock. And yeah, I don't know the history or the nature of that relationship. I would guess that Jimmy and Bruce probably have crossed paths many times over the years, so that would, where this thing goes is certainly not a question for me.
Bruce scored goals against them. Hey, you know what? Casey DeSmith is one of your clients, is he not?
Yeah, so we're going to ask me another health question.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to ask you about Casey DeSmith's health. He left the game in overtime the other day in Madison Square Garden. I'm not going to bother unless you want to serve something up.
No, I can't serve anything up on that. All I could say is it was just heartbreaking to see him limp down that tunnel because it was really a chance he's waited so long for. And I don't know if you guys out there watched the game, but he was tremendous in the game, and it was just something we had talked about a lot for years and years as kind of a quote unquote backup goalie who never gets that opportunity. And it was so special to see him play that game and play the way he played and see him not trying to be overly corny or dramatic, but when he limped down that tunnel, like I was crying. It was awful. So hoping for the best. I guess hope it's a very minor thing and we're getting nervous for no reason, but time will tell.
How's your health?
Hey, Jordan, one more. Because
I won't tell you what my blood pressure is since I've got a lot of goalies. But other than that, I'm all right.
What has it been during this interview?
Well,
that's a good question.
Well, you also got Jonathan Quick, who with the LA Kings as well. You do expect.
How's his health?
You do expect. Jordan, you do expect.
I'm just going to have you guys call a doctor next time. You don't need me.
That's right.
Or, hey, you do expect Thatcher to be 100% for training camp, though? Yes, no?
Oh, yeah. I expect Thatcher to be 100%, like I said, in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
All right, Doc. We appreciate this. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
All the best with Thatcher.
I'm going to go to medical school between now and the next interview so I can really help you out.
That's right. Otherwise, we won't have you on. Thanks for
this law school thing was a waste of time. I got to go to medical school.
Thanks, Jordan.
You got it, guys. Have a great day.